Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Friday, January the 10th. Got my friend Gary Wunder with us today from the National Federation of the Blind. And Gary walked in here today and I said, what do you want to talk about? Because we've covered so many different topics and they're all wonderful, Gary. But he said, today, let's deal with misconceptions that people have about blind folks. And I think that's a great topic to start the new year off on. What is the biggest misconception that we have?
Well, I think one is that we have better senses because we are blind. You know, that somehow the compensation for the fact that we do not see means that we have a better sense of smell, that we have a better sense of hearing, that we have better memory than everybody else.
I always thought that was true.
I understand why people think that is true. You know, if you and I are walking along and I'm paying attention to traffic patterns and I hear a truck off in the distance, I may call it to your attention and you'll say, wow, what hearing? But the truth is that if we get hearing tests, it may be that you hear better than I do, but you're relying on your eyes for navigation and I'm relying on my ears.
So you're paying closer attention to the sounds than a sighted person would be.
Right. If we walk into a bakery and it has some fine art and I say, I love the smell of German chocolate cake, it will hit you that you haven't yet smelled the German chocolate cake, but I haven't noticed the art. The same thing is true with memory. You know, I may remember a phone number and you think, well, I would just write it down. Well, the truth is I write it down too. If I write down enough of them, I have some memory left for the ones that are really important to me. I think the other thing that's really interesting is that a lot of people think of blind folks as somehow innocent and immune from the evils of the world. I mean, things such as racial prejudice. You know, when we find feral children who have grown up either with animals or who have grown up with some kind of deprivation, all the social scientists want to say, well, can we see human beings in their natural, uncorrupted state? What can we learn from these people? And sometimes that's how folks feel about blind folks. For instance, if I live in a world where I cannot see skin color, am I affected by racial prejudice? Am I affected by the supremacy of the European culture and that sort of thing? And the truth is that unfortunately we are. And we who are blind have to work our way out of our prejudices and narrow thinking just like everybody else. And I guess the reason that I mention all of this is that when you have these ideas that blind people are somehow very different from you, the message that we are blind but we are just like you gets in the way.
So that's what you want to get across today, that just because you're blind doesn't mean you're different. You're a human being just like everybody else. You have thoughts and feelings just like everybody else, and you also have prejudice.
Absolutely. I come from a very racially biased background. We were white, and we knew that we were white, and that was special. And I knew that to be a man was special, because otherwise you had to be a woman. You have to get over all of those things.
So how did you get over that prejudice?
Well, I think one of the ways to get over the prejudice is to actually be with the people that you think of as the other, the different, the weird. And you have to get to see them as people who, in fact, are just like you, who suffer the same emotions. I think that if you want to get over the idea that white people are smarter than all other kinds of people, you go to college classes and let them beat you on tests, let them get better grades on papers. If you want to get over the idea that white people are the friendliest, you have to watch and see the niceness that somebody extends to you that you never extended to somebody else. It's an amazing kind of thing, but that otherness is a great barrier to getting to know folks. And one of the reasons this helps us, I think, as blind people, is that we need not only a new conception of the other, but we need a new conception of ourselves, because a lot of people who go blind, they've already got figured out what blindness means. Blindness means deprivation. Blindness means losing all the skills that you once had. And the message, the reality of blindness is that blindness offers you a lot of techniques. It offers you challenges, but it gives you a whole new outlook on how to help other people.
Right. One door may close, but 5 or 6 other doors fling open for you.
Absolutely. And I think the place you want to get to is you get up in the morning, and there's this silly saying about, I got up this morning with nothing to do, and at the end of the day, I only got it half done. That is the kind of boredom and depression that too many people can fall into if we don't get to them with the right message, which is, when I go to bed tonight, I want to go to bed with a tired that comes not from boredom or sadness or depression or the idea that tomorrow is going to be just the same as the yesterday and the yesterday and the yesterday before that. I want to go to bed with a tired that comes from accomplishment and from an idea of what tomorrow actually brings some good that I can do for me and for other people.
But Gary, you are absolutely amazing. And I think the information that you're giving us today, not only dealing with blind people, but with humanity in general. You have such a wonderful philosophy, and I appreciate you sharing that with us. When you decided that you were going to give up prejudice, apparently you were prejudiced at one point?
I was. I believed what my mother and father told me about difference, and I was.
So you change, you realize that we're all human beings. We all bleed that same red blood, no matter what the color of our skin is or what part of the world we come from. We're all human beings, and we deserve to be treated with respect.
That's right. And when I reach my hand out to shake, it's not from a position of superiority. It's not from a position of inferiority. It's from a position of humanity and coming to love one another and making that real in terms of action.
Thank you so much, Gary Wunder, for coming by and talking to us today about some of the misconceptions of the blind, but also some very good thoughts to start the new year. I appreciate that.
Happy New Year, sir.
Happy New Year to you, too. All right. If people want more information, what's your website, Gary?
NFB.org. Neverfeltbetter.org.
The National Federation of the Blind.org or
That's right.
neverfeltbetter.org.
That's right.
All right. Have yourself a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye.